I'm going to make a combo video today, and we're talking about Salamangreat post Infinite Forbidden, because this deck has gotten so much better just because of the Fiendsmith engine. And I know you don't want to hear this, the engine is expensive, but it's still the best engine you can play in Salamangreat. One major downside is that you don't have that much extra deck space, but I will still show you the combos, and let's hop right into it. So the first combo I'm going to show you will be with the Formud Skipper and the Parallel Exceed. Now it's actually only the Formud Skipper, because you activate the effect to rename this card and give it another attribute and type. And then if it's sent to the graveyard as link material, you can add a level 5 or higher Cybers monster, which will be the Parallel Exceed. So in this, you're just going to normal summon the Formud Skipper, then activate its effect, and then show your opponent the Magical Musketeer Max. And then you will just immediately go into it. And this is just a Light Fiend. You just need it as an extra body for the fusion summon of Lacrima. And then you will just go into Requiem. Requiem will then stay on the field. You will not activate its effect immediately, but you will Parallel Exceed and then use its effect to summon another Exceed. And then you can use the Parallel Exceed to go into your Balings. Baling's effect will then add you the Sanctuary. This is how you bridge into the Salamangreat engine. Then you use the Fiendsmith Requiem to get into the Engraver, and then Engraver and Balings will go for the sequence. Then you will activate the sequence by shuffling back 3 of your Light Fiends in the graveyard, which are exactly 3. And you will go for Desiree. I chose to go for Desiree right here because you can pretty much choose if you want to go for Desiree or if you want to go for the Caesar. Or third thing is Beatrice milling the counter trap, and then you can reset the counter trap, and then you have Beatrice plus Raging Phoenix and the both traps. But in this case, I will just show you what you can do if you just go for Desiree, because now you will just link those two into the Promethean Princess. Promethean Princess will then summon back the Balings, and then you can just go into Raging Phoenix, get the field spell, also get back the sequence to get Desiree's negate effect, and then you can just go into your Raging Phoenix number 2 and just use its effect to get the counter trap. And that's pretty much your 1-card combo board. And yeah, that's it about this 1-card combo. As I said, you can also go for Beatrice and also go for the Caesar. It's just a matter of if it's worth it. I will just show this in the other combos. Now I will just go on with the Fiendsmith Engraver plus the Formud Skipper. So there are many ways to go into the combo with the Formud Skipper, because you can pretty much do your Engraver combos first and then go into your Formud Skipper after that. And then you can basically get your combos, but I will just show how I go on, because it's always a question, do you want to go for Desiree? Or do you want to go for Caesar or for Beatrice? And it's always what's more worth it for you, because Caesar sometimes is much better because you can just use it to play around Nip, and then you can Formud Skipper afterwards. But yeah, I will just go over that right here. We're just going to use the Formud Skipper first in this combo. Then we're going to do the same thing, go into Max, then at the Parallel Exceed, and then go into the Requiem, then special summon the Exceed. This is pretty much the same combo as before. And then you will also go into Balings. And with the Balings, you're going to add the Sanctuary as always. And now you can go for Engraver and go into Sequentia, Sequence is the TCG name actually, and then you will just go into Sequence, but this time you will not go, you will still go for the Desiree, but right now you will not just link into the Promethean Princess, but you will now activate your engraver, and then you at the tract will then get your lurry, and just like that you've got the tract engrave and Desiree on the field, and lurry on the grave, of course. And you also have an engraver engrave, so you can just activate the tract to fusion summon, get your lurry and your Desiree into Lacrimosa, and Lacrimosa will then target one light fiend. This can not only special summon back the engraver, it can also special summon back the Desiree. So you will just use it to special summon back the Desiree, and then you can just use the engraver, summon it back with the lurry, go into your Caesar, and then you can, as before, just go for your Raging Phoenix, and just like that, out of a 2-card combo, you've not only got the Promethean Princess and the Desiree, but you also got the Caesar with 2 negates. So this is alone 4 interruptions with the counter trap and Raging Phoenix, but you also, of course, have the Promethean Princess engrave, another Raging Phoenix to summon back, and the Bailings. So you pretty much have all your Salamangreat cards, even though you did not use Gazelle and you did not use Spinny or any other Salamangreat card. And you can also go for the other trap. And what I show right here is that you can also just use your 2 level 6 bodies before you link summon, of course, relink summon the Raging Phoenix. You can just, I'll show it right here, summon it back, and then use the Bear Trees to get yourself the Raw into the graveyard, and then you will relink summon the Sanctuary, and this will then trigger the Raging Phoenix and the Raw, Raging Phoenix on field, of course, and then you can basically the same, but you have, instead of the Caesar, you have the Rage and the Raw. And what you can also do right here, you don't only have these 2 interruptions plus the Desiree and the Promethean Princess, but you also can, in your opponent's draw phase, use the Bear Trees to mill the Black Goat Laughs, and then you have another interruption. So you basically have the same amount of interruptions, but it's just different interruptions. So you pretty much have to look what's better at that point. You can always like side the Black Goat Laughs and the Rage for that, because I do think that the Rage can be really good, especially if you play against like maybe Labyrinth, which pretty much going second will just set cards and then pass it over to you, and then you can just destroy those cards in the end phase of your opponent. And yeah, that's it about this 2-card combo. And then I show another thing with the same 2-card combo, which will just be the other way around, where I don't go Formud Skipper first, but I go Engraver, and then I will just go into Tract. Tract will get Lurry. No. Then you will just go into Requiem, do the same thing all over again. Just get your engraver, then use the engraver in graveyard, and then go into sequence, and then you will use this sequence to get back your Lacrimosa. Lacrimosa will summon back the Fiendsmith, and then you will go for the High Wave Caesar, and then you are nip proof, because if your opponent would have nipped, then nips you, then he would have nipped earlier. And that's why now you can just Formud Skipper and use the Formud Skipper to go into the Bailings, trigger both. You can even chain block. In this particular combo, you would probably want to have your Bailings resolved to get into your counter spell. But if you, for example, I will show it later, but if you want the 2 rank 4 bodies for a rank 4, then you definitely go for the Formud Skipper to be chain blocked. So you're just going to get the Field Spell right now and the Parallel Exceed, and then you can just go for your Promethean Princess, just as always, summon back the Bailings, go into your Raging Phoenix, and then use the Sanctuary go into another Raging Phoenix, then Chain Block, Raging Phoenix and Parallel Exceed. And then you have the Counter Trap plus Caesar plus 2 rank 4 bodies, and then you can pretty much decide I want to main the Baguska, but right here I didn't make Baguska because of the Caesar, because you block your own monster. But as I said, you can just go for another rank 4 right here. You can, that was a misclick. You can just go for the Abyss Dweller, and then you end on the Salamangreat Raw, Caesar, Dweller, Raging Phoenix, and also have the Promethean Princess, Raging Phoenix and Balings in graveyard. And you also have follow-up in the form of Engraver. And that's why I do think that this combo is pretty much the strongest. Like, it's like this combo is also really strong, but it's just another form, because right here you can have one Desiree, which is an Omni Negate, and the Raw, which is an Omni Negate. In the other combo, you pretty much have a Lingering Floodgate. So it's pretty much up to the format what you want to do, because Abyss Dweller also means that your opponent won't do shit with the Fiendsmith engine. Also Snake Eyes, like you can't trigger Poplar, you can't trigger the Flamberge, you can't trigger Wanted or the OSS. So Dweller can be really detrimental, but it won't end their turn that easily, because they can still go into Flamberge, use the effect on field, and maybe you can't go for an OTK because you can't trigger the Raging Phoenix in graveyard and the Promethean Princess. So I do think that this is a really strong board. Also, Tempai has difficulties OTKing you if they can't get back the Synchros from the graveyard, and Labyrinth also can't get back their bodies from the graveyard and cannot trigger the traps, so that's also really important. So there are many ways where the Dweller can really hurt your opponent, and that's why I do think this is a really strong end board. Yeah, then the next combo I've got, of course, is a 2-card combo of Spinny and Gazelle, and in this combo it pretty much ends on the same board. It's pretty standard, so you would just Spinny into Gazelle, Spinny into Balings, then trigger both, then get the field spell, then use Gazelle to get your trap, because you don't need an extra body, and then get back the Spinny, then use those two to go into your Moon of the Closed Heaven, get into Requiem, then use Requiem effect to go into your Fiendsmith Engraver, and then go into Sequencia, fusion summon into Lacrimosa, get back your Engraver to hand, then use the Engraver to get your Tract will then activate to get the Lurry will special summon, and then you can just go into Promethean Princess, get your Gazelle, get your Raging Phoenix will trigger and get your Rage and Raw, and then you will just summon back the Engraver to get into your Caesar, and then you pretty much have a super full board. So this is also super strong. So there are many ways to get to this combo. I do actually like the Formud Skipper a lot, but what I really wanted to show you is that you don't have to play the Formud Skipper, even though I do think, because it's not that vulnerable to hand traps, because you can't Veil it. Of course you can Ash it, but it's like the same thing with like what is it called? Because if you Ash the Formud Skipper, you still have the full Fiendsmith combo, but if you Ash the Lady Debug, you just go into the Balings, and then you have the field spell, and that's it. So there's definitely a big difference in those two combo lines, but I still want to show you how you would play if you just go into Lady Debug. So in this, you will just go into Lady Debug, get Gazelle, then go into Balings trigger, then activate the Sanctuary and get into another Balings, triggering the Gazelle. Gazelle will then get you another body in the Jaguar, which will then get back Balings and summon. Then you go into Wicked. Wicked will trigger when you summon Balings with Gazelle into the zone. And then you will just search for Weasel, Weasel special summon, and then you will just go into Moon of the Closed Sky, Requiem, the Fiendsmith Engraver, and then just go for the sequence, which is pretty much the same combo as before. When you go for it's pretty much the combo when you go for a Gazelle plus Spinny, but you don't get an extra trap, so you will just go for the Engraver, search track the Lurry and sequence, go into the Promethean Princess summon back a fire, go into Raging Phoenix. And what's also a difference in this combo, when you play the Lady Debug variant with Cyber's Wicked, you do have the Weasel. So that's one difference, one key difference. So you always, when you use the Weasel, you get an extra draw. So that you really have to keep in mind. But also you're giving your opponent a free body, and you pretty much don't have enough bodies and space in the extra deck to go into your Promethean Princess effect, and then just go into probably a Pyro Phoenix or something, because that's just not worth it to play in the extra deck. So you're just going to give it to him, draw an Ash of course, then destroy both and go into the Raging Phoenix. So because you already used the Sanctuary Reeling Summon, so you had to get this back. And then you're going to search Raw, and then you can just summon back the Engraver, and this will then go into Lacrima. And what's also important about this is that you do have to play 2 Banelings. The one thing is that I also tried 2 Banelings in my deck with the Formud Skipper, because sometimes I was like, if I draw Formud Skipper and have a Jack Jaguar Engrave and don't have another Salamangreat on the board, the Jack Jaguar is just dead. So I want another Banelings to go into when you only have the Formud Skipper in hand. But the problem is that you also have to play another Wicked, and in my variant you have 1 Banelings and 1 the Magical Musketeer Max, and then you would need another Banelings and another Cyber's Wicked, so you have 1 more card in the extra deck. And that's why I do think that the Lady Debug combo isn't that great. But if you do find another combo, please let me know. For this, I opened up a Discord server so we can exchange our thoughts on the new Salamangreat deck, because I do think that if you play the regular Salamangreat deck right now, it's just not enough to push against the whole Fiendsmith decks and Snake Eye decks. So that's why I do think that we should definitely play this engine in Salamangreat, because it just makes it so much stronger. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like and a comment, and have a nice day and stay safe.